Hey fight fans, this is Richard Schaefer and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so I stumbled across this article, I'm reading it, and I love it. I really do, okay? I ain't gonna lie about it, I do, because it kind of proves something that I said a while ago. Now, we're gonna touch on something else in a minute that's very, very important for every single one of you listening. We're gonna get to that point in a minute, okay? But of course, I have to lay the foundations of exactly what's going on with the article and all these other kind of things from the Daily Mail. And of course, we'll get there in a minute. Okay, so please bear with me. Now, currently what's happening is that Probellum have instructed their legal team to sue Boxer and Ben Shalom over highly defamatory statements linking them with Daniel Kinahan. Now, what apparently Boxer and Ben Shalom have got their fighters to do is sign some form of waiver to say that they have nothing to do with Probellum, they have nothing to do with MTK and sanctioned parties. Sanctioned parties, quote unquote, Daniel Kinahan, it can be read that way, okay, even though they don't mention the name Daniel Kinahan. Okay, anyway, so the waiver that apparently they're getting fighters to sign goes as such. Due to the adverse publicity linking MTK Global and Probellum to various sanctioned parties, I can confirm I do not employ, engage, or work with MTK Global or Probellum, nor will I transfer any monies, including any monies that Boxer has paid to you in connection with the attendance at the events and or the Sky Agreement to either such entity. Okay? Now, what it is that they're pretty much saying here is, if you sign this waiver, then basically our hands are clean. Okay? You will not be sending over any kind of money to MTK Global, Probellum, or the sanctioned parties. Now, we're going to cover some of this in a minute, okay? But a spokesperson for Probellum put out this statement. Probellum has instructed law firm Reed Smith to take immediate legal action against Boxer and its CEO, Ben Shalom, over highly defamatory and untrue statements. There is no connection between the management or ownership of Probellum and any of the individuals or businesses sanctioned by the US Treasury, as Boxer has been suggesting. Probellum respects and understands the breadth of the sanctions and will continue to comply with all rules, regulations, and requirements. So that is Probellum's response to them. Now, firstly, who is the snitch that put out this waiver that Ben Shalom and Boxer have asked their fighters to sign? Who's the snitch? I feel an internal investigation coming on, okay? Because ultimately, while Probellum can say that it's defamatory statements and whatever else, well, they haven't publicly put this out there, have they? And believe me, I would know if they have. Reason why I would know is because some of my very good personal friends are Boxer Sky Sports fighters. They have not received this kind of waiver. So firstly, I don't even know if this waiver is true. But secondly, even if it is, they're doing it in-house. They haven't put it out in the newspapers or done interviews on it or anything like that. As far as I'm aware, they haven't. So it's not actually a defamatory statement because they haven't publicly said it. What they're doing here is, if it's true, is they're getting fighters to sign this. So therefore, any kind of investigations that may or may not occur, well, our fighters have all signed that none of the money that we give them is going to end up in the hands of what the media are claiming Daniel Kinahan is, as in some form of cartel. Now, I don't know anything about Daniel Kinahan. I don't know what it is that he's supposed to have done or anything like that, okay? Ain't none of my damn business. Ain't none of my concern, okay? My concern is boxing. For some of you, you'll have a much more personal feeling about it, okay? Which, of course, I fully understand. Now, one of the many reasons why Sky Sports employed Boxer and Ben Shalom as a new leading promoter, one of the many reasons, and there are many, one of them is, and I know this bit for a fact, is because Ben Shalom and Boxer have no history and no links with Daniel Kinahan. Now, that's not suggesting that Daniel Kinahan's guilty of anything, of course not. But with the fact that Boxer have no history with him, means that if any kind of investigation does happen, well, our promoter has nothing to do with them. And this is something that I told you guys in the beginning. One of the reasons why I knew this to be true is because in the beginning, when they were trying to sign certain fighters to their stable and whatever else. There were many fighters that I was suggesting and maybe trying to put forward and whatever else. And I was told that certain fighters who I mentioned cannot go to Sky Sports because they're currently under MTK Global contracts. I knew that. Now, some of you believe me, some of you didn't. Okay, what is that? Sport Icons knows. But that is what I was told in no uncertain terms. And again, this wasn't from Boxer and Ben Shalom and that, of course not. Okay, but managers and whatever else were telling me, no, they can't go with them because they're currently MTK Global. Other fighters, of course, that I suggested ended up going with Boxer. Okay, so everything that Sky Sports have been doing is preempting that one day there might be an investigation at some point. So this was way before the US Treasury put out this $5 million reward, whatever it was, that would lead to the arrest of Daniel Kinahan and whoever else it was, no idea. But this was long before they preempted that something might be investigated. Because when you look around the entire boxing world, everybody at some point would have had some kind of dealing with Daniel Kinahan. They would have done. Because obviously MTK Global was started up with, say, Matthew Macklin and Daniel Kinahan, right? So a lot of people would have had some kind of dealings with MTK Global over the years, as in some kind of links with Daniel Kinahan. Daniel Kinahan was advisor to Tyson Fury, Billy Joe Saunders, and whoever else. Again, I'm not insinuating that he's done anything wrong. Not at all. Okay? But when you look at, say, Eddie Hearn, he has. When you look at... Right, okay. Here's one example here that I think Probellum really need to have a look at here, which is that even if this waiver is true, even though it's not public or anything like that, one of the reasons why they may well have mentioned the name Probellum is because, firstly, Bob Arum said the name Probellum. He publicly put it out there. Publicly. That no promoters in boxing will want to work with Probellum. MTK Global have closed their doors. It won't be long before Probellum will probably have to do the same thing. Words to that effect is what Bob Arum has said, even though Bob Arum, very, very two-faced, was bigging up Daniel Kinahan not so long ago. He's a great fella and blah, blah, blah. Right, okay, but suddenly the US Treasury says something, oh, that's it, we're distancing themselves, we want nothing to do with them, Probellum this and MTK Global that and whatever else. Basically, his arse went and he started singing like a canary. That's the reality of it. So Ben Shalom, Boxer, would have heard this statement from Bob Arum, put it down there. If there are any kind of links, whether there are, whether there isn't, none of our concern. But we want to make sure that if something turns out that you do have something to do with Daniel Kinahan, our fighters have nothing to do with you, therefore we can't be linked. It's very smart. It's a very, very smart thing to do, if of course this turns out to be true. Now, the other thing is that what Probellum are not really looking at, or maybe they haven't really thought of, is that was it some kind of sports minister in Pakistan? Didn't he put out some kind of statement or social media post or something like that, where he said that he just had some kind of meeting with the new CEO of Probellum, whatever it was, and he named Daniel Kinahan. He had a picture with him or something. So that was put out there in the public, that Daniel Kinahan has something to do with Probellum. Now, I know certain people at Probellum. I do. Phil Jeffries is a very good dear friend of mine. He's the new lead promoter for Probellum, along with Sam Jones and that, of course. Sam Jones, I don't really know him. But Phil Jeffries, I know him very, very well. And I asked him in the beginning, is this anything to do with MTK? Nope, absolutely nothing. Totally different companies, what he told me. And he ain't going to lie to me about it. He ain't. Okay? But one thing that is the elephant in the room, I suppose, is that a lot of MTK fighters transferred over to Probellum. So automatically, people are linking it. Okay, so Probellum, are you like a sister company of MTK Global? Are you taken over from them? And when MTK Global closed down their doors, that's pretty much saying there's some guilt here. Let's not forget that apparently the name brand of MTK Global, was it bought out or registered by Probellum, or the other way around, the name brand of Probellum was put out by MTK. There was something to do with that. There was. And people within MTK were making it very, very obvious that they have links with Probellum. They were. You have people from Probellum having pictures with this Daniel Kinahan in there. Like Sam Jones in that, for example. Now, people at Probellum, they seem very, very cool people, and I like them. I like them a lot. Those who I met, I like them a lot. They put on great shows. And that's where my interest comes in. Are you signing fighters? Yes. Are you putting on shows? Yes. Are they good shows? Yes. Are you invested in the sport? Yes. Cool, crack on. That's as far as I'm concerned with it. Anything else, couldn't give a rat's ass about. I really couldn't. Anyway, back onto this subject. Probellum suing Boxer and the Ben Shalom for what? They haven't put it out there in the public. Whoever leaked this information, they're the ones you should really be going after. If you're going to sue anybody, you should be suing Bob Arum over there, because he's the one who publicly stated and linked Probellum with Daniel Kinahan. He's the one who done it, not Ben Shalom. He didn't do it. So if this waiver is true, as I said, I know fighters who haven't received this waiver, so I can't say whether it's true or not. But they're doing it to distance themselves. They're keeping the distance. They have no history. They've never made not one deal with Daniel Kinahan. Not one. I'm telling you that for a fact. Not one. Every other promoter out there with a TV deal. Do they have a deal and made deals with Daniel Kinahan? You betcha. They have. So if there is some kind of dirty seediness going on with this Daniel Kinahan fella and boxing and whatever else, every other promoter out there, most other promoters out there, has had some kind of dealing with him at some time or another. They have. A lot of them have publicly defended him. Rightfully so, wrongfully so, I have no idea. But they have. One thing we know for sure, Boxer and Ben Shalom have nothing to do with him, which is what I said to you guys in the beginning. Absolutely nothing. This proves it, because Probellum are now taking legal action against Boxer and Ben Shalom. Now, is this one of the reasons why Probellum started up their own platform or anything? Because Sky Sports refused MTK fighters? I don't know. Again, we can speculate, we can guess. No idea. None whatsoever. But anyway, listen. Best of luck to Boxer. Best of luck to Sky Sports. Hopefully they start announcing and putting on big shows and all that kind of stuff. And we need all these fights out there ASAP. Hopefully Probellum continue and there is no kind of links with Kinahan or hell, even if there is, whatever, okay? Continue putting on good shows, okay? That's, for me, as a boxing fan, that's all I could possibly ask for. Anyway, we'll have to wait and find out what comes of all of this. We'll have to wait and see. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you on the next video.